The kiwi, yes. Ooh, that small bird from New Zealand. Oh, hello there. I'm Professor Rumsfield, and I'm here to teach you some very important lessons. Mostly about the ideas of Marxism in the book called A Brave New World. But the first lesson, there's nothing better than a fire in a good book. Except for a bad book in a fire. Now, first you must know a little history on the man. Marx and his associate, Fredrickson, were philosophers back in the 18th century. They were predominantly known for producing a book called Communist Manifesto. Now, this book actually inspired the ideas for communism and his followers for many years, even to the present day. Now, though this may have not been in the Marxist idea, it was indeed used in communist Russia, of the fact that they would actually take young children and brainwash them by propaganda and such, therefore to make them perfect citizens, very much so like what they do in A Brave New World. To emphasize this point, George Orwell's book Animal Farm indeed proved this with Jesse's puppies. Taking these puppies was a very grave and detrimental deal, but they were brainwashed and then later used against her. Now this is not so different from A Brave New World, how you ask? Well, instead of taking them from their mothers, they make sure there are no mothers to be taken from, therefore giving them the perfect citizen, obedient in every way. Now, another big similarity between communist Russia and, as you say, A Brave New World, is that they would both deport them to very cold places. The Brave New World mentions very often of Iceland being their prime location for deportees. Now, for the Russians, if you disagreed with them, you would end up in Siberia. And no one would like to go to Siberia. It's very cold, you see. Like mine and my ex-wife's bed. But don't worry. It's because she was a penguin. Kept it at 31 degrees Fahrenheit all the time. Now, another sign that this book is linked to Marxism and communism is because the names, yes. The founder of Marxism was indeed Karl Marx, who was a very influential thinker during the 1800s, as I've already told you, you idiots. And if you cannot put two and two together yet, the main character is Bernard Marx, definitely one of the main characters. Now, Bernard is a free thinker, so was Karl Marx, yes, a philosopher, if you will. But in his day and age, free thoughts were becoming more and more prominent, but as Bernard's are not. And Lenina Trotsky was named after both Trotsky, who was a very big influential man in communist Russia during the early Lenin years, and also Lenin himself. Vladimir Lenin, in fact, started the communist regime in Russia and was, in fact, its founder. Now, something else I find very startling about the similarities in this book to communist Russia and Marxism is something called the 9-Year War, that in fact led to the Brave New World being predominant. In fact, if you notice, historically speaking, that World War I was in 1914, and the Russian Civil War ended in 1923. Now, if you do the math, that is 9 years. This is obviously symbolically talking about the Russian Revolution and World War I, as I've stated. The society has strong characteristics of Marx's basic principles of pretty much everything belongs to everybody. Now, this itself is semi-true, but it more resembles communist Russia. In Marxism, the world was owned for the common man. That the factories were owned by the people. That the government was owned by the people. Now, in this, it is taken a little differently. It's been to the point where everybody owns everything to where they own nothing, not even themselves. Everybody belongs to everybody, which means you no longer belong to you, which gets rid of your free thoughts and ideas. You good? Well, children, I'm happy that you stopped by to see old Professor Rumsfield and learn a few things about Marxism in a brave new world. Oh, it's been a long day. And yes, by judging by the time on my pocket watch, it's time for you to get the hell out of my house. Good day. Subscribe.